Welcome to episode 3 of Ghost Stories, the podcast that shines a spotlight on the incredible individuals of Kaukauna High School, the home of the Galloping Ghosts. My name is Aaron Herm. I'm the proud principal, and today I am joined by Dan VanBoxtel. Hello, Mr. VanBoxtel.
How you doing?
And a couple of his students. We have Autumn. Hi, Autumn.
Hi.
And Keegan.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for being here. The reason Mr. VanBoxtel and his students are here is because when we finished episode 1, I asked the guests, who do I need to have on the podcast? And without hesitation, they're both like, Mr. VanBoxtel immediately. So you have a really cool story. We've had a chance to talk a little bit. And maybe we start there. So Mr. VanBoxtel, can you tell us what you do at Kaukauna High School and also kind of your journey as an educator?
Wow, my journey as an educator. That's been a long journey. It's been 42 years. This is year 42. So along that journey, met a lot of really neat people. But my last 24 years of my journey has been here at Kaukauna High School.
And you're one of our tech and engineering teachers, right? In the auto shop.
You're right. And we have a great department. All my colleagues are incredible teachers that I work with. So to be honest with you, a student can't go wrong taking a tech ed class because they're going to have a really good teacher that is very, very knowledgeable in their area that they teach, and they will learn some skills that they can use for the rest of their life. It's a pretty great deal.
Yeah. You're doing what I expected. You're putting the spotlight on other people because that's what you like to do. But how about yourself? You're a humble person is what I've learned.
That might be true, but you realize that you don't get anywhere without others, and life is not about you. It's about what are you doing for other people. So I do work, like I said, with some great colleagues. And some people ask me sometimes, why do you keep teaching? And I tell them because I love the people I work with, and I love the students that I work with, and I get treated so well here at Kaukauna. It's kind of easy to come to school every day.
That's great to hear. Yeah, I would agree that the people you work with, the students and the staff, make all the difference. So you've been the auto shop teacher here for how many years did you say?
24 years here.
All right. And prior to that, you were in Seymour, right? An assistant principal even for a little bit?
Right.
Spent some time as an administrator?
Right. My career started out over at Shackton High School. Okay. I was there for 15 years. I was a technology and engineering teacher, just like I am here. I was also the head varsity basketball coach, and I was also the varsity track coach at Shackton. During that process, I went to school, got my first master's degree in vocational education, and then I still thought I should be doing more, so I got my second master's degree in education administration. And then when I got done getting that degree, my wife at that time said to me, "Hey, time for you to go and be an administrator." I'm like, okay. I love teaching and I love doing that aspect with students, so it was hard, but I decided to go ahead and give it a shot, and I became an assistant principal at Seymour High School. The unusual thing about that, though, was that I went to Seymour High School. And so when I got the job at Seymour High School, I was ended up being the person that was supervising my former teachers, which if you want to have a really neat caveat, that is quite the situation to evaluate, bring in former teachers of yourself and tell them how they can become better teachers. So that was very interesting. And then, of course, a couple tech ed teachers from Kaukauna, they both came over to Seymour when I was at principal over there, and they said, "We're building a new high school. We really like you to come over. We've heard of what you did at Shackton. We'd like you to come over to Kaukauna and kind of head up our tech ed program." And at the time, I was really kind of missing teaching and being in the classroom every day. So I said, I'm in. I'm going. So came over to Kaukauna that year, and we finished out that year at Riverview. Riverview used to be the high school, and so I taught at Riverview, which it was at that time Kaukauna High School, for the first semester. At semester, we switched. We moved everything. We moved the whole school during Christmas break over to the new high school and had to set up everything there at the new high school. So never forget that winter and that whole process of moving like a whole tech ed department and all the other departments. It was unbelievable. I mean, people were great. And then started that journey here at our new high school here at Kaukauna. So it was a lot of stuff went on, but it was really good. It was fun.
And then the program has to have evolved, especially in the auto shop, since you started, right? And I know you've been an instrumental part of that to the point of even winning some awards, right?
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how the program has changed since you first started? And then that'll probably bring us to present day and we can start to bring the students into the conversation.
Well, it's changed, not as much as you might think, but any of the tech ed fields change constantly. So we as tech ed teachers have to continually get updated training. Me, especially in the automotive field, because autos are changing so much every year. So I go to summer trainings every summer and get some more extensive training in how to teach all the new things that are going on with vehicles. It is mind-boggling, and I tell people I'm not an expert at anything. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I'm not an expert at anything. So that has continued to evolve so much so, but that's part of the fun of it because all of us are learners. I tell my students this every day. I'm going to learn something from you today. I'm hoping you can learn something from me today. And together we will both learn new things. The day you stop learning is the day you probably start to die. So you have to keep learning. You have to be willing to be a willing learner all the time. And the older I get and the longer I do this, the more I realize I do not know. And so I'm hungry to learn more every day.
So Autumn and Keegan, you've taken several of Mr. VanBoxtel's classes. Autumn, I think you said you've taken them all, right? What are they?
Consumers Auto and then Fox Valley Tech.
Yeah, and like Consumer Auto 2, she's taken in, as well as Applied Auto Tech, which is a course that is a dual credit course where students can get 4 credits from Fox Valley Tech and credit from Kakano High School, and that lasts 2 trimesters. And like for Autumn's case, she's one of my educational leaders, so I have her help me teach one of my consumer auto classes. So she comes into the lab, she helps other students. That's always a great scenario because there's one of me and maybe 23 or 24 students. For me to get around and help everybody out there, they have to wait a long time. But if somebody like Autumn's available, she knows a lot of this stuff. She can help them, so it speeds up the process, and they get a better chance of getting some help and learning something even quicker.
That's pretty cool. So Autumn, what's your career goal?
To be a mechanic.
Excellent. And what does it feel like to be put in a leadership position like that in Mr. VanBoxtel's class? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I actually like it. I like just being able to work with other students and help them out. And just being with VanBoxtel is just like the best part of my day. Because I just like learn new things every time I'm with him. Like I've learned it, but there's just new things each year that I'm with him that I still learn over and over again that I might have forgot or I didn't even know.
Sure. And one of the things I heard Mr. VanBoxtel say that I want to come back to is how he learns from you and the whole idea of never stop learning. So what that makes me think is that you guys are getting life lessons beyond just how to work on cars. So Keegan, how about you? Can you talk a little bit about that? What has Mr. VanBoxtel taught you, maybe in addition to how to work on cars?
Well, definitely to be a good person, be good to one another for sure. I know sometimes in class something might happen, but people make mistakes, and he definitely makes sure that, you know, it's all right, even if you make one.
Yeah. Autumn, what do you think?
Yeah, no matter what, if you make a mistake or not, VanBoxtel's always right there, and he'll help you fix it, no matter what.
One of the things that I thought was really cool that Mr. VanBoxtel told me just in a conversation last week, which speaks to you guys as students, but also Mr. VanBoxtel, is, what'd you say? You've only lost like 1 or 2 tools
Right.
that have gone missing in all this time, and then
Right.
and then I think one of them ended up coming back like a
Right.
semester later, right?
Right. The student came back about last year at the end of the year, and he said, "Mr. Boxtel, this is your wrench." He says, "I found it under the hood of my car. It's been there for about a year." And just to the credit of Kakana students, you know, the fact I tell people that they say, "Why don't you lock up your stuff?" I said, "I don't need to lock it up." I said, "I trust my students." I said, "They respect all the good things that we have to use, and they don't steal it." I think in my 24 years here, I can count on one hand the number of tools that I've had missing, and maybe even some of those went out in vehicles that were left underneath the hood of a car. They fell someplace where they didn't see them. So The students here at Kaukauna are great. I love them. They're honest. And it's just a lot of fun every day to work with them.
So Keegan, I want to get you involved. So what are your career goals, and how has Mr. VanBoxtel and his classes helped you prepare for your future?
Well, I definitely want to be an engineer. I think going into the automotive field is definitely a place I want to go just because of taking his classes. I think the experience I'm getting is very helpful for the job I might want when I'm older, or if I get one pretty soon. I think even not just the actual job itself, but the lessons I'm learning are much more important than just working on a car or working on a vehicle.
When I got my first tour of this building as the new principal and walked into the auto shop, I was immediately impressed by that space. We've got some state-of-the-art stuff. I think we've been able to bring in some great technology. So, Mr. VanBoxtel, can you talk a little bit about what that enables you to do?
Well, yes, I feel like the same thing when people come. Like last year, we had a big automotive showcase here at Kaukauna where we invited students from 25 other high schools to come on over. The Wisconsin Automobile Truck Dealers Association set up a huge tent. They brought in like 15 or 20 different dealers from all around the valley, and students could get a chance to find out what are the careers that are out there in the automotive world, diesel world, outdoor power equipment world, motorcycle technology, you name it. And so when they came and had a chance to see like our auto facility and the rest of our tech ed facilities, they were just overwhelmed with how really nice they were. And I know that and say that to the students every day, how fortunate we are to have the incredible tech ed facilities that we have. I mean, it's a nice facility when you walk in, but yes, we also have some of the nicest equipment. I was fortunate enough a year and a half ago to win the Harbor Freight Tools for School Award. And with that award came $35,000 for the school to spend on whatever we wanted to for, our tech ed classes. And so I decided to purchase a brand new state-of-the-art tire changer, a new state-of-the-art tire balancer, and a brand new scanner for communicating with vehicles' computers. So we have used that equipment so much in the last year and a half. And when you walk in and you look at it and you're like, whoa, it does look kind of impressive. It does look like we do have, the state-of-the-art equipment out there. And we do. Our facility is just really nice. And when we are fortunate to have people come in and visit, I'm sure the initial, when they see it all, it's very impressive. And that is the biggest thing about it, is that our equipment is the same equipment that's used out there in the auto industry. So when Autumn or Keegan are trained to operate this equipment, they could go right out in a dealership and operate their equipment because it's almost identical. And in other words, they have real work skills, real everyday work skills that can be used right away. Many of our students who take, let's say, our applied auto course and take the course that is both Fox Valley credit and Kaukauna credit, they are able to go right to Fox Valley Tech. And in some cases, they don't have to take that course. They've already taken it. They can go on to their next course. So that gives them a immediate advantage over someone that doesn't have facilities like we have. So in that way, our students are so fortunate. And it's not just it's in the tech ed area, but it's also a number of areas in our school where we offer dual credit courses to our students. And so they can I've had one student, when he left Kaukauna, he had already completed his entire first semester at Fox Valley Tech. So he could just move on to a second semester. So that saved him time, that saved him money. He came back and told me, he says he was just so proud of the fact that he could do that, was able to do that while he was here in high school. So our students do have that unique advantage of being able to get those credits before they even leave our high school.
VanBoxtel's shop is very organized. There's nothing in that shop that you cannot find. Start opening drawers up, you can find it. It's labeled, it's put back where it should be.
And that's one of the things that I have Autumn doing right now, is she's helped me with that. I mean, you have it one way, you could always make it better. And Autumn, when she's not helping me in class, she's out in the shop doing some things to make it more efficient and make it easier for students to find tools and have the equipment and things they need to do that.
I like using the scanner. It tells you everything. It makes everything super easy, and I don't think you can get that anywhere. I think it's a very, very big privilege that we get.
Tell me more about that scanner. What does it do?
So basically, you plug it in to the car, and it basically tells you anything and everything about a car. It tells you, I don't know, oil pressure. It can tell you RPMs. It can tell you if there's a trouble code. It can tell you basically everything about it.
And then your job is to take that information and fix it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It is pretty unique in the fact that the students, and that's a goal of mine, is to get them very proficient with that, because modern day vehicles are very technologically advanced, and some vehicles have as many as 40 computers on board. So this scanner is able to go in and communicate with those modules or computers and then help us locate where a problem is. So it helps us narrow it down. So when we're trying to fix something, narrows down where it might be, gives you 3 or 4 possible causes of it, and then you as a technician have to go through and check out each one of those possibilities till you find the right cause of the problem and then repair it.
Autumn, how about you? What's your favorite maybe piece of equipment to work with in the auto shop, or your favorite thing to do?
Probably the tire machines. The tire machines are a big must-have in an auto shop, because if you do not have good tires, you're not doing anything. You're going to have bad days if you don't have good tires. And those tire machines help out a lot. And we're grateful that we have 2 of them.
So, guys, you talked about the equipment you like to use and what it lets you do, but I'm also wondering, what are maybe some of your favorite activities that you've done, or the favorite things that you've fixed in the shop?
I would say when VanBoxtel brings dealerships in, or a couple years ago you brought that tractor in. That was cool to see.
Do you like, maybe I can ask that question. What's your favorite, and for me as a teacher, I'd like to know, what is one of your favorite activities that you do out there? Do you like working with, let's say, the ignition system? You mentioned something about tires, but is there any, do you like doing the changing oil and filter? What lab activities do you really like to do?
My 2 favorite are like suspension and oil changes.
Okay, so working on the suspension system. Okay, I mean it's a very, very common job that has to be done in a lot of different vehicles. Keegan, my man over here, what are you up to?
Definitely oil changes. I like the oil change part. I changed the tire out of my car, and I thought that was a really fun job, knowing that it's my car and then I get to do it if it breaks or doesn't work.
And you know how to do it. Makes you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does make you feel pretty good afterwards.
So for both of you, does that, and one of the things about being, let's say, an auto tech, or even going to a lot of fields in those related areas, you get paid for doing it, but do you feel a satisfaction in doing it? Do you feel a pride in doing some of these activities? Autumn?
Yes, definitely. Like you've done it, and it's done right, not from some going to any other shop and knowing that it's going to be all messed up. So you have the confidence that you have done it and you have done it right, and more likely it will not come back.
Keegan?
You also feel a good sense of pride. You feel very good about yourself. I don't know. I just think it feels really good once you complete it and you know it works and it works right.
Yeah, it's a special feeling to know that.
Not one you can get in every class either.
Not one you can get in every class. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you write a really great paper in English, you should take some pride in that, and that's a big deal. But there's something about a vehicle comes in and something doesn't work, and you are like the doctor, and you are going to diagnose the problem and you're going to fix it. And when you drive it out that day and it's all fixed, you're like, yeah, I did that. Yeah. That's a sense of pride.
Absolutely.
I mean, I tell students it's good to know certain skills and that, but I also tell them that even if you decide never to do much of this stuff again yourself, at least you know how it should be done, when it should be done, and why it should be done. So you have become literate about your vehicle and what it's going to take care of it. Even if you decide, I don't have time to do it, I'm going to have somebody else do it, but I know this needs to be done and why it needs to be done, and so on and so forth. You're literate. You know the lingo. You're not just like every time you deal with cars. I don't know anything about cars. I don't know. There's some people that the only thing they know about cars is that where you put the gas in. And that has got to make you feel like a little bit like you're kind of naive about it. Nobody wants to be totally naive about anything. They want to at least know something about it. So, yeah, like you were talking about the scanner. Well, there's something from your standpoint, if you go into engineering, you might want to know something about, how that works. it's going to lead you into like knowing a little bit more about how the vehicle works. And now if you engineer something for it, you know what you're engineering for it. I always tell people that it's hard to become an engineer if you've never done it with your hands. If you don't understand how it works, you've never taken it apart, you've never had to fix it or diagnose it. So how are you going to design something for it when you don't know anything about it? Really difficult.
See, and when I started high school, I didn't want anything to do with cars. I wanted to be a daycare teacher. And as soon as I heard about VanBoxtel's class, I'm like, I have to try this. And after I finished the first consumer auto. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to go into the auto field. And it might be difficult, but it teaches you how to be independent. It teaches you new things. You just got to work through it. And if it wasn't for VanBoxtel, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be working in a shop. I wouldn't be doing half the stuff that I'm doing right now. He has taught me so much through these years that I've had him, and he's even still teaching me new things.
Well, and I learned things from her too, but the fact that she was brave enough as a female to go out there and get a job in an auto repair facility and continues to be like a vacuum cleaner, sucking up any information she can. And then, again, having the courage to go out and do some of this stuff. It takes a lot for a person to do that, to kind of break the barrier down and not be afraid to try something new. That's as human beings, that is a thing that scares all of us, the unknown of trying something new and what might happen if I fail or I don't get it right or I don't do it right, those kind of things. And I know the students in my classes have to feel that a lot because, you know, if they wreck something, yeah, it could be costly and that's kind of scary. And, you know, all those things are kind of, you as a human being think about that. And it's one thing that makes you hesitate to do it. But Autumn was able to do that. Keegan, is not afraid now to come in and work on almost anything. And so they've kind of gained a confidence level in themselves as human beings. And that is so important to a person's, development, as if they have some confidence in what they do and how they do it. Then if they approach almost anything in life, I can handle this. I've handled other things. I can handle this. It's a class like any kind of a technology class where they can find out, hey, I can really do this with my hands, with my head. It's not just one or the other, it's both. You can't fix anything without using your head, which is your brain, and using your hands together to get something figured out.
So this makes me think about when I was in high school, there was maybe a stigma about females taking tech ed classes. But you just talked about the amazing experience that you have. And Mr. VanBoxtel, you talked about the life lessons that come with it too. I wonder if we can just talk more about that.
All right. I give Autumn so much credit for being willing to do that. Throughout my time as a tech ed teacher, one of the biggest things that has kind of like stymied me is how can I get more females to take our classes? And try different things like an auto class for girls, auto ABCs or something like that. And I tried it, and it never did fly or wasn't very successful. So I think all of our tech ed teachers are thinking of that. We would like to get more females down into our area because these areas, the ways of thinking of what traditional jobs used to be, that's not that way anymore. Out there in the auto industry and all the other trades-related industries, they want females out there. They want them. I found out and no offense, Keegan, I found out some of my best students are my female students. They come in and they know they don't know. So they're willing to learn. They listen. So my male guys come in and they're like, I already know this, Ms. VanBoxtel. I don't know if there's anything you can teach me about this kind of thing. So that kind of works for the deal where if we're doing this podcast and we can get just one or two girls to think, well, maybe I could think about taking a class like that, and they do, then this whole podcast would be worth it. It'd be well worth it.
So Autumn, you said you were originally thinking about childcare. What made you want to take Mr. VanBoxtel's classes then, and then also continue to take them?
Well, my stepdad is a master mechanic, and I kind of wanted to kind of start working with him, but I wasn't really sure yet if I really wanted to. So I found out that VanBoxtel's got auto classes, I knew we had a welding class, but not an auto class. So I'm like, well, I'll just give it a shot and see what I think about it. And I really loved it, so I just kept continuing to go with it. You just gotta get out there and do it. Like, you might be scared. I was, because I was like the only female, and I just gotta get out there.
Anything we can do to get more females to consider the possibilities of all these other careers. She mentioned welding. I mean, there could be a lot of things in the woodworking area and construction. So many different companies in the area are just begging to have females that are willing to come into these fields, because there's a lot of great opportunities for females to make a great living, have a very satisfying career, and what could be better than that?
So Keegan, we talked about the stigma that exists with girls taking tech ed, but I think historically, at least when I was in high school too, if you were a high achieving student, which is what I hear you saying as a future engineer, then an auto shop class wouldn't be for you, right? Like, that's not the kind of class that you take, but you are taking it. So can you talk about how you made that decision and maybe what you're gaining from it?
I just feel like the hands-on part was very, very key to becoming an engineer, and I think that maybe one day I want to go to automotive engineering, and I think the car part makes it they're very complicated, and I think you have to be a lot smarter than you think to actually know how to fix something. I don't think it's very easy, and I think it's very challenging.
Yeah. Mr. VanBoxtel, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you were right about that stigma of us not getting the higher academic level students to come down and take anything in the technology and engineering area, from welding to construction to machine shop to all those different areas. There's some benefit for them taking that kind of class for you going into any career, because you learn how things are actually made, you learn how different parts are actually made, you learn how these things are actually done, and that's going to help you conceptualize, if you're going into any one of those higher level fields. It's going to be worth your time to take those classes, because you will learn something great from it. And not only that, you're going to learn some skills that are going to be usable for you for the rest of your life. Even if you don't go into that technology field, there's just the literacy. You know enough about it to be intelligent about it.
As a principal, I am so proud of everything that's happening in the tech ed wing. I'm so proud of everything that's happening in the auto shop. I'm so proud of you guys. This was one of those kinds of conversations that makes me feel honored to be the principal of Kaukauna High School and that this is happening in our building. All right, so let's do one last time around the table. And I think I want to start with Keegan. What advice do you have for somebody thinking about getting into a tech ed class?
Definitely don't be shy. Just take the class. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be rewarding, and I think that if you take it, you're going to want to take other classes too. You're going to want to take another advanced class with it.
Yeah. Autumn, how about you?
Yeah. I took the first one, and I didn't know VanBoxtel had the second one. And I'm like, do I not? Because of the Fox Valley Tech credit again. And I was like, it might be a little harder. But nope, I got right into it. Was not hard at all. You just got to pay attention. You just got to do the work. If you're there and you show up, it's easy. You just fly right through it. It's pretty much just work at your own pace. And you can just get whatever done you need.
Mr. VanBoxtel?
Yeah, hearing what Keegan said, hearing what Autumn said, as a teacher, it makes me think, if we can only get that barrier broken to get students to be willing to consider it. I mean, we're fortunate. We're in a trimester system, and students have 3 different trimesters that they can pick classes in. I'm only hoping that they're willing to try any one of the tech ed classes, just one, for one trimester. I think if you do that, you'll take another one. I think you'll see the value in it. I would recommend that for art. I would recommend it for almost any discipline. Absolutely. I think that the art department is one of those other unknowns that doesn't get used as much as it should.
Well, I'm so grateful you all agreed to be on the podcast today. I learned so much about not only Mr. VanBoxtel's classes and all of you, but the tech ed department and great things that are going on in the building. So thank you so much. I guess what I would say is, students, if you are interested in taking a tech ed class, come on down to the G Wing and have a conversation. Pop down. The teachers are friendly people down in the tech ed wing. And you can find out more. You probably talk to some of the students as well, community members and families. If you're interested in knowing more, you can go to our website. The course descriptions are on the course catalog, as well as some other information about our auto shop classes and all the classes that we offer. And if you want to hear more podcasts like this, we release every month. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. And until next time, it's a great day to be a ghost.